What's your greatest regret? Growing up, my mom had this obsession with me becoming a doctor. Not just any doctor, a neurosurgeon. From age 5, she'd make me practice holding chopsticks for hours to build steady hands for surgery. When other kids were watching cartoons, I was stuck memorizing anatomy flashcards. Every birthday, instead of toys, I'd get medical-themed gifts, a kid-sized lab coat, a plastic surgery set, even a real stethoscope that cost more than our monthly groceries. My walls were plastered with brain diagrams instead of superhero posters. The breaking point came when I was 12. Mom hired this retired surgeon, Dr. Walsh, to mentor me after school. 3 times a week, I'd sit in his stuffy home office while he droned on about surgical procedures. The guy smelled like mothballs and disappointment. One day, I snapped. If Mom wanted a future surgeon, I'd give her one. I started carrying around a notepad, diagnosing everyone I met. Mrs. Anderson, that slight tremor in your left hand indicates possible cerebral atrophy. Fascinating case. At family dinners, I'd randomly announce medical observations. Uncle Pete, your fork-to-mouth trajectory suggests early onset motor neuron dysfunction. Most concerning. When he'd stare at me confused, I'd just scribble in my notepad and mutter, patient exhibits cognitive delay. I downloaded medical sound effects on my phone. During quiet moments, I'd play heart monitor beeps. In the grocery store, I'd stop in the middle of aisles and yell, clear, before pretending to defibrillate the frozen pizzas. Mom thought I was finally embracing my destiny. She didn't realize I was losing my mind. I started carrying latex gloves everywhere before touching anything. Doorknobs, pencils, my own sandwich. I dramatically snapped them on. Can't risk contamination, I'd explain to confused classmates. Surgeons' hands must remain pristine. In art class, I'd only draw anatomically correct organs. My teacher sent me to the counselor when I turned in a detailed colored pencil rendering of a diseased pancreas for our Happy Place project. I invented a fake medical condition called spontaneous neural combustion and convinced half my class they had it. Symptoms included occasional blinking and the need to breathe air. The school nurse had to send out a letter to parents. The final straw was career day. While other kids dressed as firefighters and teachers, I showed up in full surgical gear, scrubs, mask, booties, the works. I'd borrowed it from my cousin who worked hospital maintenance. When it was my turn to present, I walked up to the front of the class, dragging a life-sized anatomy mannequin I'd stolen from Dr. Walsh's office. Today, I announced, I'll be performing an emergency cranial procedure. Before anyone could stop me, I whipped out a toy saw and started operating while narrating in a terrible British accent. Notice the elegant curvature of the temporal lobe. Simply magnificent. The screaming started when fake blood started spurting everywhere. In my defense, it was just corn syrup and food coloring, but try explaining that to 20 horrified third graders and one very unconscious teacher's aide. The principal called my mom. Between sobs, she asked why I'd do this. I finally told her the truth. I didn't want to be a surgeon. I wanted to be a chef. The look on her face when I said chef, you'd think I'd announced plans to become a professional rattlesnake juggler. But then something unexpected happened. She started laughing, not just a chuckle, full-on tears streaming can't-breathe laughter. Through gasps, she admitted she'd only pushed the surgeon thing because her own mom had forced her to be an accountant when she dreamed of being a painter. These days, I run my own restaurant, and on my office wall, right next to my culinary degree, hangs that bloody third-grade anatomy mannequin. Mom commissioned a local artist to paint it. But my greatest regret, Dr. Walsh still hasn't forgiven me for stealing his $2,000 medical mannequin. He sends me monthly bills. I keep sending.